The blizzard howled across the frozen plains of Arcturus 7 like a living thing, its icy claws tearing at everything in its path. Colonel Darius Hale stood at the reinforced window of his settlement, watching the white chaos consume the landscape. Retirement on this ice world hadn't been his first choice, but after 30 years of service in the Terran Defense Corps, he'd earned his solitude. The proximity alarm shattered the silence. Darius frowned, checking his scanner. 7 massive heat signatures were approaching through the storm, moving erratically, desperately. His hand instinctively went to the plasma rifle mounted above the door. In all his years on Arcturus 7, nothing larger than an ice worm had ever come this close to his habdome. Then he saw them. Through the swirling snow, shapes emerged, enormous, serpentine forms with wings that should have been majestic but now hung tattered and frozen. Dragons. Not the mythical beasts from Earth's ancient stories, but the Drakthor, a species he'd only encountered once during the border wars. They'd been enemies then, proud warrior race who'd nearly broken the human defensive line at Kepler Station. The lead dragon collapsed mere meters from his door, its crystalline scales once shimmering with bioluminescence, now dull and frost-covered. The others fell around it, their massive bodies creating tremors that shook his foundation. Darius grabbed his thermal scanner and stepped into the airlock, every instinct from his military training screaming at him. The Drakthor were warriors, conquerors, beings who measured their worth in conquered systems. What were they doing here, dying on his doorstep? The outer door hissed open, and the cold hit him like a physical blow despite his thermal suit. He approached the nearest dragon cautiously, rifle ready. Up close, he could see the desperation in its multifaceted eyes, the way its breath came in labored gasps that crystallized instantly in the sub-zero air. Human, the creature rasped, its translator chip barely functional. The voice was feminine, proud even in defeat. I am Thyranex, wing commander of the 7th Fleet. We require shelter. Darius stared at her, memories flooding back. Thyranex, he knew that name. She'd led the assault on Kepler Station, had personally destroyed 3 of their defensive platforms. Human soldiers had died because of her tactical brilliance. You're asking me for help? His voice was cold, hard. Your kind killed my friends, my brothers and sisters in arms. Thyranex's eyes dimmed further. Yes, and your kind killed mine. War is mutual destruction, human, but we are not at war now. She coughed, a rattling sound that spoke of failing organs. We are refugees. Our colony world was destroyed by the Void Swarm. We fled, but our ship failed. We crashed here. Your settlement was the only heat signature for 1,000 kilometers. Behind her, one of the smaller dragons, barely juvenile by their standards, whimpered. The sound was so unexpected, so vulnerable, that something in Darius's chest tightened. Please, Thyranex continued, and the words seemed to cost her everything. Not for me, for them. The younglings. They are innocent of war. Darius looked at the 7 dragons, at their frost-bitten scales and desperate eyes. Every tactical bone in his body told him this was a trap, a deception. But his scanner showed the truth. Their core temperatures were dropping below critical levels. They had perhaps an hour before hypothermia killed them all. He thought of Kepler Station, of the friends he'd lost. He thought of the Drakthor's reputation as merciless conquerors. Then he thought of what made humans different. What had always made them different in a galaxy full of logical, calculating species. Humans were illogical. Humans forgave. Humans hoped. My habdome can't fit all of you, he said finally. But the storage facility can. It's not heated, but I can rig the emergency thermal generators. He pointed toward a large structure behind his dome. Get your people there, move. Thyranex's eyes widened in disbelief. You would help us? After everything? I'm going to regret this, Darius muttered, already heading toward the storage facility. But yeah, move your scaly asses before I change my mind. The next 6 hours were a blur of activity. Darius worked with desperate efficiency, rigging thermal generators, redistributing power from non-essential systems, even tearing insulation from his own living quarters to line the storage facility walls. The dragons helped where they could, their massive strength useful despite their weakened state. Thyranex watched him work with something like wonder in her alien eyes. Why? She finally asked. Why do this for your enemies? Darius paused, wiping frost from his faceplate. Because you're not my enemies right now. Right now, you're just 7 beings who need help. He resumed working. Besides, humans have this stupid tendency to see the person in front of us, not the uniform they wore or the flag they served. Your species is strange, Theranex said softly. We studied you during the war. Your tactics, your weapons, your strategies, but we never understood your greatest strength. What's that? Your refusal to be defined by logic alone. Any other species would have let us die. It would have been the rational choice, the safe choice. But humans... She trailed off, watching as he secured the final thermal unit. Humans choose compassion even when it defies reason. By the time the generators hummed to life, bringing blessed warmth to the facility, the storm outside had intensified. The dragons huddled together, their body heat combining with the artificial warmth to create a survivable environment. The younglings chirped gratefully, already showing improved color in their scales. Darius stood at the facility entrance, exhausted but satisfied. Theranex approached him, moving slowly on still frozen limbs. When we are recovered, she said formally, the Drakthor will remember this debt. You have saved not just our lives, but our entire bloodline. These younglings carry the genetic legacy of our people. I don't want a debt, Darius replied. I just want you to remember that humans can be enemies or allies, warriors or saviors. We're complicated like that. He smiled grimly. And maybe next time your people meet mine, you'll think twice before assuming we're just another species to conquer. Theranex bowed her massive head, a gesture of profound respect in Drakthor culture. Colonel Darius Hale, you have taught me more about humanity in one night than all our intelligence gathered in years of war. We will not forget. As Darius returned to his habdome, the storm still raging outside, he realized something profound had shifted. The galaxy was full of species who made decisions based on logic, on advantage, on cold calculation. But humans, stubborn, emotional, illogical humans, they made decisions based on something else entirely. They made decisions based on who they wanted to be. And that, Darius thought as he settled into his chair with a cup of synthetic coffee, that was what made humanity truly formidable. Not their weapons or their tactics, but their unwavering belief that even enemies could become allies. That even in the coldest darkness, compassion could still burn bright. Outside, 7 dragons slept peacefully, saved by the very species they'd once tried to destroy. The galaxy would never be quite the same.